There's a saying in Nashville, it all begins with a song. Some songs have become hits time after time. Ever wonder about the writers? If you do, then you'll love country's family reunion, The Songwriters. In the family reunion tradition, the room is filled with some of the best writers Nashville has to offer.
We're the songwriters.
Over the years, these songwriters have filled the charts with their songs, and now we're about to get the real story on those songs from the people who wrote them. They share it all, from the heartbreaks to the hits, and everything in between. Some songs took years to write, while a few took only minutes. It's all here on Country's Family Reunion, The Songwriters.
Oh, ain't we having a good time? Well, I guess we could say we saved the prettiest till the last. Pretty girls we didn't get to, Leslie Satcher and Angela Cassett. You've been very patient to be here today, and Angela helped Wayne with his song a while ago, and nobody's played the keyboard today but you.
Yeah. Well, this has been a gas. I've just had a blast.
Did you start playing piano when you were 7?
Yeah. So anyway, too late for a real job. Just gotta keep at it.
What would you do if you had not become a songwriter? What kind of work would you have done?
Oh man, Lord only knows. I just can't even imagine. Wasn't prepared for anything. You know, it's like all I ever really wanted. I got actually got signed pretty young and to Tree, and some of the first writers I met were these two men over here, Curly and Sonny. I was signed in '78, and I was writing pop songs at the time, and Tree decided they wanted to have a pop division. Well, that was the proverbial lead balloon, but I did get to stay and learn, and it was so amazing just to hear these songs that are so seemingly simple, but there's so much wisdom and so much subtlety, and so much in between the words, and the interplay between the music and the words was just awesome. So I loved it. It was great.
Well, you didn't dress all in red, but you got on something in red.
Yeah, my red sleeves.
Is that a segue or what?
That's a good one. That's a good one, man. You did that good. Yeah. Well, it took me 15 years after I started writing songs professionally to finally have a hit, and this was one. This was, and Lori Morgan cut it, so I'll play you a little bit. Okay, I'll play you all of it. I'm looking for something in red, something that's shocking to turn someone's head. Strapless and sequin and cut down to their stockings and garters and lace underwear. The guaranteed number that'll knock the man dead. I'm looking for something in red. I'm looking for something in green, something to outdo an ex-high school queen. Jealousy comes in the color of jade. Do you have some pumps and a purse in this shade? And a perfume that whispers, please come back to me. I'm looking for something in green. I'm looking for something in white, something that shimmers in soft candlelight. Everyone calls us the most perfect pair. Should I wear a veil or a rose in my hair? Well, the train must be long and the waist must be tight. I'm looking for something in white. I'm looking for something in blue, something real tiny, the baby's brand new. He has his father's nose and his chin, We once were hot lovers, now we're more like friends. Don't tell me that's just what all married folk do. I'm looking for something in blue. I'm looking for something in red, something that's shocking to turn someone's head. Strapless and sequin cut down to there, just a size larger than I wore last year. The guaranteed number that'll knock the man dead. I'm looking for something, I gotta have something. I'm looking for something in red.
That's beautiful. That's just terrific. Thank you. Leslie Satcher has been sitting over there with Larry Corley. Y'all have been singing, and Buddy Cannon. Y'all have been singing some of the prettiest background harmonies to all these songs. You must know a jillion songs.
I know them all.
You must.
I listened to the radio, man, when I was a kid. I listened to the radio when I was a kid.
Where'd you grow up, in Texas?
Northeast Texas, Paris, right? It's right on the, it's just the, just south of Oklahoma. And,
Paris, Texas?
Paris, yeah.
That's where my mother was born.
Is that right? Well, Dwayne Allen is from that area too, so we got a lot. And Gene Watson, he's from that area, so we had a lot of good talent from there. I wanted to say I've been sitting here all day, and I thought I got the wrong phone call because I didn't think that I should have actually been here because I don't feel worthy, but. I was gonna tell you that I was looking around the room, and then when Junior got here, he sewed up the story. About every 10 feet in this room is a touchstone in my career, and one of Richard Lee. One time when I was just about to give up, when I was a newer writer, and I told him, I said, I think I'm running out of ideas. I don't think I have any ideas, Richard. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it. And he said, yeah, I thought that one time too, Leslie. And he said that I felt like God spoke to me and said, yeah, your well might be dry, but mine's not. Do you remember telling me that, Richard? And he said, it was either that day or the next day, he wrote, somewhere in my broken heart, which I was like, oh gosh, maybe that'll happen for me too. And it did. So I have Richard to thank. And Tom Schuyler, I used to save my money to get into the Bluebird so I could see SKO or SKB, whatever configuration they were. And we didn't have the money to eat, but we could get in to hear them sing. And we were trying to learn how to write songs, and so we would get in and listen to the greats so we could figure out how to do that. Don Schlitz, the first time I ever wrote with him, I walked in the door and he said I was so scared, and he was like 2 hours late. And he got there, and I was just waiting, by the front door like a little nut. And he came in, he goes, okay, I only have one rule. Check your ego, and what do you got? And I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, buddy, I'm checking my ego. I've got none. So he really helped me that day to realize, when you're trying to run with the big dogs, you better come with it. And Whitey Schaefer, I've had to resole a good pair of Tony Lama boots about 8 times for honky-tonking to his songs. Sonny Throckmorton, one time I was at Frank Brown Writers' thing down in Gulf Shores, Alabama, and Sonny was playing this little place called the Blue Moon Cafe, and he showed up. He was feeling easy, and they put him up on this bar stool and to sing. And my mother said, "Is that fella gonna sing?" I said, "Yeah, that's Sonny Throckmorton, Mom." And she said, "Well, what's he got?" Well, he started singing. He sang for 2 hours, never sang a whole song, and did nothing but hits back to back. When I got done, I was like, oh man, I need to woodshed a little bit more if I'm going to even try to catch up with that guy. And so he spurred me on to greatness. Curly Putnam, same thing. Dickie Lee, I got the pleasure of writing with Dickie, and I was really thrilled about that, all these guys in between. But when I got to Vince, I had called Tony Brown, and one day I was just dumb enough to see if I could ask to write with somebody. And so I called Tony because he had cut one or two of my songs, and I said, Tony, I'd like to write with Vince Gill. Do you think he'd write with me? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, could you put in a good word for me? And he said, no, here's his phone number. Just call him. And I didn't want to call him, and so I did. I called him, and he never called back for about 3 weeks. He finally called one day. He got my grandmother on the phone. She couldn't hear good, and he kept saying, Granny, it's Vinny. I need to speak to Leslie. And she couldn't hear him. Finally, he said, it's Vince Gill. Granny, get Leslie. So, this is her grandmother, she kept saying. So Vince and I went to eat at the Pancake Pantry, and I saw him be kind to about 15 people that morning that came up to the table. Like overly kind, never even got to finish his pancakes. And I thought, boy, I want to be like this guy. And then we started writing songs together, and I just keep saying, I want to be like this guy. The last song we wrote in his little living room, and the soccer team run over us coming in, 2 or 3 dogs. There was pickers going in and out. It was so confusing. I didn't know if I was coming or going by the time we got done. And I think it's probably one of the best songs we've ever written, and he just recorded it for his new record. I tell people, and this is the truth, Vince Gill is the brother I wish I had. But he's been one of the best friends anybody could ever have as a songwriter, or just even as a friend, period. Buddy and Naro, they've been cutting my songs when nobody would even listen to them. And they always wanted to stand and sing 3-part harmony together. And so when we...
And there wasn't but 2 of us.
And there wasn't but 2 of us. I'd come in with a song sometimes, and they were like, let's get the harmonies on this. Come on, Naro. And he'd get Naro in there. And they've been really kind to me, and we've also been writing together. The first co-write I had really was with Cordell. I had asked to write with another writer, and the guy wouldn't write with me. And he said, I'm not taking new co-writers. And I was like, oh, okay. And I think Cordell actually heard it. So I left, and a couple days later, I get this phone call from Larry, and he goes, Leslie, this is Larry Cordell. Do you know who I am? I said, yes, sir, I do. And he said, I'll write with you. And we started writing together, and we've had a lot of cuts together and had a lot of fun together, and he's been a great friend to me. You taught me how to treat fans, Bill. I was eating lunch with Bill Anderson one time at this little place on Music Row, and he was talking to me about computers, and I'd never been around Bill, and I didn't really know, that he has all these different interests, and he was very into this conversation, and he was just talking about these computers, and I was like trying to pay attention, and it was during fanfare. And these 3 women at a table across from us, they recognized Bill, and they got all excited. And Bill leaned across the table, and he goes, excuse me just a moment. And I said, okay. And so he gets up from the table and crosses the room, and he goes, hello, ladies. They just about died. They went all in. He went straight into the whisper, and they were dying. So I was like, man, that's cool. So he was really great. And lastly, Angela, she's been a great friend to me. And Guy Clark, I'm actually scared of Guy, but I'm just really scared of him. I try not to bother him any time, but I had found a record of his called Boats to Build, and I think I wore it straight out. And there's a song on that record and about this little old guy, I think it's on that record, that ties a towel around his neck and gets up on the garage. Is it on that record, Guy?
I'm not sure. I can't
I think it's on that record. And
the cape.
Little
The cape?
guy gets cape. Yes.
The cape.
He makes a cape out of this and gets up on the garage, and he jumps off thinking he can fly, and he does because he does not know he can't. Something to that effect. And I think that's kind of how my songwriting career's been. I've kind of flew because I didn't know I couldn't. So.
Well, you just had a big hit with George Strait. Why don't you sing a little
did.
about it? A little bit.
Will I
Leslie.
sing harmony on it, Junior?
Leslie,
Sir?
you're talking about what a nice guy Vince is. He is a doll. Just don't get him on the golf course.
I can't play golf. He never asked me out there because I think you have to be quiet on the golf course, and so he never wants me to.
I'm just kidding.
I wrote this with Monty Holmes, and Tony Brown asked me to write a song for George, and he said, if you know Tony, he said, hey, Leslie, go write me a song for George. He's not done yet. People think he's over. He's not over, all that kind of stuff. I was like, okay. So the next day we wrote this song, and it's almost hard for me to sing because I was 25 when I got here.
25. Most of the time, I still raise a little Cain with the boys. Honky tonks on city limits, man, I'm still right there in them, singing above the crowd and the noise. Sometimes I feel like Jesse James, still trying to make a name, knowing nothing's gonna change what I am. I was a young troubadour when I wrote it on a song, and I'll be an old troubadour when I'm gone. Woo. Well, the truth about a mirror is a danged old mirror. It never really tells the whole truth. It don't show what's deep inside or read between the lines, and there's really no reflection of my youth. Sometimes I feel like Jesse James, still trying to make a name, knowing nothing's gonna change what I am. I was a young troubadour when I wrote it on a song, and I'll be an old troubadour when I'm gone. I was a young troubadour when I wrote it on a song, and I'll be an old troubadour when I'm gone. Oh, when I'm gone, I'll be an old troubadour when I'm gone.
Very good song. That's great, Leslie. Thank you very much. Everybody in the circle has done at least one song. Let's go around the room and let everybody do like maybe a verse and a chorus of something that you like. Could be a hit, could just be something that you like, something you're proud of, something you want to
Can I borrow your guitar?
say. You want to borrow my guitar? Sure. Can't guarantee what kind of tune it's in, but
I've never had a guitar in tune in my life.
does everybody feel like me? Y'all all want to go home tonight and write a song?
Either that or quit.
Exactly.
I may go home and get in that trunk, see what I've got. I may go home and open the trunk. Yeah, get in the trunk.
You asked me about this song a while ago. What a beautiful mansion he built you. Splendor, Lord, you've got it, wall to wall. And yet with all of that, you're still not happy, baby. 'Cause every time he's gone, I get your call. Slide off of your satin sheets. Been that long, soft mink. You know what I know what you're crying for, and I'll hear you at my door. Slide off of them satin sheets, slip into your long, soft mink. I know what you're crying for, and I'll meet you at the door.
Great record on that song by Johnny Paycheck. Richard Lee.
Wrote this with my buddy Lang Martine. greatest man I never knew lived just down the hall. And every day we said hello, but never touched at all. He was in his paper, I was in my room. How was I to know he thought I hung the moon? The greatest man.
Tom, you fussed at me for having you lead this thing off.
Yeah, now I have to follow that.
It's all my fault,
It's
right?
pretty much, Bill. I'll do a verse and a chorus of a song that I actually wrote with a great songwriter named Paul Overstreet, who my mother-in-law asked me to sing at her youngest son's wedding. I know all of you have been asked to sing at weddings before. And that was fine, but then she said, "Will you sing We've Only Just Begun?"
I had no idea you wrote that.
To which I responded, "Oh my." I said, "Let me think about it. Give me a little time." So we came up with an alternative song that she approved. I bought a beautiful diamond ring, and I offered it to the sweetest thing I know. And she said she would take it. We started making some wedding plans. She looked at me and she took my hand and said, "Are you sure we can make it?" Well, I said, "My granddad's still in love with my grandma." And I said, "My dad still thinks my mom's the sweetest thing he ever saw." You see, I come from a long line of love, and when the times get hard, well, I won't give up. And forever's in my heart and in my blood. You see, I come from a long line of love.
Guy, about 3 hours ago, you were going to try to get in tune and play Homegrown Tomatoes.
Oh, okay.
No, do whatever you want to do.
Oh, that's fine with me. You know, I'll just do anything. I figure no sellout too small. A love song. Well, there ain't nothing in the world I like better than bacon and lettuce and homegrown tomatoes. Up in the morning, out in the garden, get you a ripe one, do not get a hard one. Plant them in the spring, eat them in the summer. All winter without them's a culinary bummer. I forget all about the sweating and digging every time I go out and pick me a big one. Homegrown tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes. What'd life be without homegrown tomatoes? Only two things that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes.
Just like we rehearsed it.
I'll count by threes.
Dig into the Don Schlitz songbook again.
I don't think I've ever told anybody this on mic, but we were talking earlier today about writing what you know, everything being autobiographical. And when I wrote this song, this is the first song I ever had recorded. And at that point in my life, I had never been on a train. I don't think I had tasted whiskey, and I didn't play cards. I just kind of made it up. It rhymed. On a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere, I met up with a gambler. We were both too tired to sleep, so we took turns of staring out the window at the darkness. Till boredom overtook us, and he commenced to speak. He said, "You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money out. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting when the dealing is done. But you got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting when the dealing is done. There will be time enough for counting when the dealing is done."
That guy got real intimate with you, like right away. It was just like that one verse, and then he gave you all that information. A little more development.
I'm that kind of guy. People just tell me things.
Okay.
You know, I listen to you all the time.
Yes, you do.
I do.
And consequently,
I
you
sang
know
harmony
stuff.
on that song, on Johnny Cash.
It's just kind of a synopsis it had, wasn't it?
That's right. That's one of them synopsises, all right.
On John's record.
Jan, one of the greatest country songwriters of all time was a lady from Texas that I know you were very
Cindy
close
Walker.
to, Cindy Walker, who's in our
Cindy
Hall of Fame.
can't be here, but she would be right at home here, and I know everybody would love for Cindy to be here. I had the privilege, and it was indeed a privilege, to be called friend, and for her to be my friend. She and Mom Walker were joined at the hip. I mean, when Cindy pitched the song, Mom Walker was there at the piano, and Cindy was plunking on the guitar. One time I was down in Texas, in Dallas, doing a promo thing for Decca Records. And I told the promotion man who was taking me around, I said, "I want to go to Mahia. I got to see Cindy." And we had talked before. And he said, "I'm not going to Mahia, Texas. I don't know Cindy Walker." And I said, "Well, you don't need to be a promo man in a country, for me, a country singer." I said, "I'm going to Mahia, Texas." He said, "You've got a 6 o'clock flight in the morning." I said, "I don't care, I'm going to Mahia, Texas." He said, "Okay, I'll take you." So we drove, he begrudgingly drove to Mahia. Well, Cindy had made homemade ice cream. Mom Walker had made a big, wonderful chocolate cake. And we sat on the floor, and after we ate the homemade ice cream and the cake, and Cindy was sitting there picking on her guitar. Mom Walker was at the piano. And I had the privilege of sharing one of the most beautiful evenings and one of my most cherished memories with Cindy and Mom Walker. And it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had to drag the promo man out of there. I didn't want to leave, and neither did I. But I had recorded a couple of her songs, and one everybody knows. And I do it sometimes on the opera. We'll just sing a little bit of it. You give your hand to me, and then you say hello, and I can hardly speak. My heart is beating so, and anyone can tell. You think you know me well, but you don't know me. No, you don't know the one who dreams of you each night, who longs to kiss your lips and longs to hold you tight. To you, I'm just a friend. That's all I've ever been. But you don't know me. It's just one of her many, many songs we did.
I'll sing a verse and chorus to this, and this is all. That's all it's got anyway. Took me and Lefty about 20 minutes to write this. I've been throwing horseshoes over my left shoulder. I've spent most all my life searching for that four-leaf clover, yet you run with me, chasing my rainbows. Honey, you know I love you too. That's the way love goes. That's the way love goes, babe. That's the music God made for the whole wide world to sing. It's never old, it just grows. Losing makes me sorry. But you say, honey, now don't you worry. Honey, I love you too. That's the way love goes. That's the way love goes.
Quickly, I'll say I've had a great time. I want to thank Don for letting me, well, he didn't let me. I snuck on the album, the Gambler album. I think it's sold, what, 18, 20 million, something like that?
I didn't have to buy one.
The figures get bigger all the time, but it was big. I'll do you this one. This is George Strait did for us, a thing called Cowboy Rides Away. 1, 2, 3. Dun, dun, dun. Well, I knew the stakes were high right from the start. When she played her hand, I bet my heart. Now I just found a game I can't play. This is where Throckmorton rides away. And my heart is sinking like the setting sun, setting on the things I wish I'd done. It's time to say goodbye to yesterday. This is where the cowboy rides away. And the last goodbye's the hardest one you'll say. This is where the cowboy rides away. I didn't try
where the pudding rides away.
Is it me next? Bobby Braddock's not here, is he? He's not going to sing. Let's move this down this. He said, I'll love you till I die. She said, you'll forget in time. As the years went slowly by, she still preyed upon his mind. Kept her picture on his wall. Went half crazy now and then, but he loved her through it all, hoping she'd come back again. He stopped loving her today. They placed a wreath upon his door. Soon they'll carry him away. He stopped loving her today. I don't sing that very well, but I had to try it.
Real quick, Richard Lee's inspiration for Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue. He was sitting in his living room, just kind of being mopey and looking at his old brown-eyed hound dog. That's it.
Tell the story.
I know, I tell good stories and they're long too. This is a song that Bob McDill and I wrote. It started out with Dave and Sugar and went through Waylon Jennings, and so far it's wound up with Jamie Johnson.
Saw your picture in the paper, and I see you married good. And I know that he can give you all the things I never could. But I know that he won't give you what you need most of all. Well, the door's always open and the light's on in the hall. Yes, the door is always open and the light's on in the hall. And you know that I'll be waiting if you ever come to call.
The thing I'd like to do is done in D, and that's too high. And if I do it in A, that's too low, but I'm gonna do it in A. We really need a mic, but I can hardly bear the sight of lipstick on the cigarettes there in the ashtray. Lying cold the way you left them, but at least your lips caressed them while you packed. And a lip print on a half-filled cup of coffee that you poured and didn't drink. But at least you thought you wanted it, and that's so much more than I can say for me. It's been a good year for the roses. Many blooms still linger there. The lawn could stand another mowing. Funny, I don't even care. When you turn to walk walk away as the door behind you closes. The only thing I know to say, it's been a good year for the roses.
Thanks, all of you guys. Thanks for inviting me, Bill, Larry. I'm honored to be here with all of you. This is my first time to do this, and it's very, very exciting and wonderful. Little call. Step right up. Come on in. If you'd like to take the grand tour of a lonely house that once was home, sweet home. I have nothing here to sell you, just some things that I will tell you, some things I know will chill you to the bone. Over there sits the chair where she'd bring the paper to me and sit down on my knee and whisper, oh, I love you. But now she's gone forever. Oh, and this old house will never be the same without the love that we once knew. Step right up. Come on in.
I'm grateful to get this invitation as a songwriter.
Yeah.
Let me say that. And I thought an interesting question would be to go around for everybody of your choosing, which would be the song that you would like to most be remembered for. I'd enjoy the answers out of everybody. If we have time, it'd be fun to hear. But I know this would be mine. I know your life on earth was trouble, and only you could know the pain. You weren't afraid to face the devil. You were no stranger to the rain. Go rest high on that mountain. The sun you work on earth is done. Go to heaven shouting love for the Father and the Son. Go to heaven shouting love for the Father and the Son.
I had planned to sing something else that I had written earlier, but like Jan, I had a wonderful friend that I can't help but thinking how well she would have fit into this group, and she would have been absolutely thrilled to death. And that's Dottie West, who's a friend to all of us here. Dottie was so encouraging to me. I first met her when I was still living in California, and she was encouraging me, as Hank was, to move to Nashville. And I remember saying, Dottie, I don't know enough to move to Nashville yet. And she said, Nashville is where you learn. And she was so right. But I just kind of want to remember her. She set such a great example, I think, for a lot of us, certainly me. And her friendship meant so much. Jimmy? Here comes more tears to cry. Here comes more heartaches by. Here comes my baby back again. Here comes more misery. Here comes old memories. Here comes my baby back again. Here comes my baby back again.
D chord.
D?
D.
Yes.
B. I can't even spell it.
What?
When I first came to Nashville, which is too far back to even speak of, I wrote this song and I couldn't get anybody to help me with it. And so I finally, Burl Ives came to town, and I sang it to him, and thank God I didn't listen to Hal Smith again. And so I wrote it by myself. A little bitty tear let me down, spoiled my act as a clown. I had it made up not to make a frown, but a little bitty tear let me down. When you said you were leaving tomorrow, that today was our last day, I said there'd be no sorrow. I'd laugh when you walked away, but a little bitty tear let me down, spoiled my act as a clown. I had it made up not to make a frown, but a little bitty tear let me down. A little bitty tear let me down. Yes, a little bitty tear let me down. Thank y'all very much. It sure has been a pleasure here. And it also got me out of the house. And which Susie was sure proud of.
Great to see you, Hank.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Hey, Bill, let's do Give It Away.
Oh.
What key do you whisper in?
You play it, I'll talk in any key you
we
play.
we wrote this with Jamie Johnson, and George Strait cut it for us.
She was storming through the house that day, and I could tell she was leaving. And I thought, oh, she'll be back. Then she turned and pointed to the wall. And she said,
that picture from our honeymoon, that night in Frisco Bay, just give it away. She said, give it away. And that big four-poster bed where all our love was made, she said, give it away. Just give it away. She said, give it away. There ain't nothing in this house worth fighting over. Oh, we're both tired of fighting anyway. So just give it away.
I'd like to say I'd like to be remembered for this song called You Remain that Willie Nelson cut, and I'd like to not do that song. I'd like to do Dallas Frazier. I wouldn't even probably be here if it wasn't for Dallas Frazier, and I forgot to mention him a while ago. And there was a girl that used to sing every Friday night at this little honky-tonk down in Texas, and she always closed with Beneath Still Waters, and I thought I might do a piece of that because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that song. You play it in D, please?
Yes, ma'am.
D. Beneath still waters, there's a strong undertow. The surface won't tell you what the deep water knows. Oh, darling, I'm saying I know something's wrong beneath still waters. Your love has gone. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about remembered for, but if it hadn't been for this song right here, I wouldn't have got to any other songs at all. In 76 or 77, I lived in a trailer park in a place called Thelma, Kentucky. It was right on Kentucky State Route 40. And I come in from work. I was playing over in Hazard. I was a CPA during the day, and I was playing a band over there at night. I come in about 3 in the morning, and I saw this little round Kentucky roadside, had 40 on it. And there was a wide place in the road there on the river, and I pulled over and wrote the first of this thing down. Let me say, if it hadn't been for Ricky Skaggs, I wouldn't have made $25. I mean, me and Ricky's raised together, and he said, son, I'm gonna do some of them songs of yours.
That still ain't high enough.
Here's a little piece of this thing. Well, these are Highway 40 blues. I've walked holes in both my shoes. Counted the days since I've been gone. Love to see the lights of home. Wasted time and money too. Squandered youth in search of truth. But in the end I had to lose. Lord above, I paid my dues. Got them Highway 40 blues.
Buddy Cannon is holding his breath. He knows I'm going to sing Peel Me a Nanner. which I do not wish to be remembered for.
We were riding in the car down in, we'd gone to a couple of spring training baseball games down in Florida, and Bill and I were riding along, and I was just kind of getting to know him. I didn't really know him very well. And
Still don't.
Still don't, yeah. And we were talking about songs, songs we heard and songs we liked, songs we didn't like. And I said, take that song, Peel Me a Nanner, Toss Me a Peanut. I said, who would have ever thought of writing something like that? And Bill said, I did.
What a low blow.
What a rookie move, buddy.
Going on up to
Yeah,
it.
but I also wrote this one. I held your love on the tips of my fingers, but I let it slip right through my hands. I let you slip right through my hands. I held your love on the tips of my fingers.
Well, you know, this whole songwriting thing got me thinking about this song, and I did not write this, but I'm going to borrow from you, Richard, and just sing a chorus of your song so you can join right in if you'd like. It goes a little something like this. You gotta sing like you don't need the money, love, like you'll never get hurt. You gotta dance like nobody's watching. You gotta come from the heart if you want it to work. Come on and sing like you don't need the money, love, like you'll never get hurt. You gotta dance like nobody's watching. You gotta come from the heart if you want it to work. You gotta write your songs from the heart if you want it to work.
I love your voice.
Thank you.
We've all been to guitar pulls, but I don't think there's ever been a guitar pull quite like this one today. And on behalf of Larry Black and all the people at Gabriel Communications who do the family reunion videos and television shows, I think I can speak for Larry when I tell you how much it's meant to all of us, for everybody to be here to share your incredible songs, your incredible talent, and hopefully along the way some little kids watching us in La Crosse, Wisconsin, or Apalachicola, Florida, or somewhere saying, I want to be a songwriter. And maybe they've got the talent. Maybe someday they'll be here sitting in this circle too.
Isola, Mississippi.
Where in Mississippi?
Isola, Mississippi.
That's your hometown?
Yeah.
Is there
If you
anybody
wanna
else down
call
there
it
that
a
wants to write
hometown,
songs?
what?
Anybody else down there that writes songs?
I don't think so.
Is anybody else down there?
No.
Not anymore. Hey, Bill, I'd like to say I'm going in the studio a couple of weeks from now to finish recording Kenny Chesney's next album. And anybody in this room that has any songs they want me to listen to.
I thought I was going to be the only one you told.
I just like to offer the opportunity to, I'll give you my phone number or my address, and you can drop something by. Be glad to hear it.
And it goes for all the viewers too, right?
Yeah.
You gonna give them all your phone number and your address?
That's right, yeah.
And this time he's all over the place.
Great job, Bill.
Good job, Bill.
Thank you. Thank y'all for being a part. Tom, get your guitar just a half a second more. Just
Okay.
just a little. Come on. We started off with it.
Exactly.
Let's wrap up with it. We can all, just a little bit of it. We'll all sing God Bless the Boys That Make the Noise on Music Square East.
No, I didn't write this. I did. I didn't write any of these things. From the corners of the country, from the cities and farms, with years and years of living tucked up underneath their arms. They walk away from everything just to see a dream come true. So God bless the boys who make the noise on 16th Avenue.
God bless the boys that make the noise on 16th Avenue. Thank y'all. We're heroes, we're schemers, we're the drunks, we're the dreamers, we're lovers, and sometimes we're fighters. We're the students, we're the teachers, we're the devil, we're the preachers, we're true love, but mostly one-nighters. We're the song